welcome back to another video. This really popped when I saw it. That to me is a monster increase. Again, this book got hot. This book is ready to go higher. So let's jump right into it. We are back today with another statue review from Diamond Select Toys. Without further ado, let's get into the review. What is going on YouTube? This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and I want to thank you guys for joining me for yet another video here on the channel. Today we're here for the Hot 10 Breakdown of the Week. If you guys aren't familiar with what I do in this video, I take the 10 hottest comics according to the Key Collector app, and I break them down one by one, letting you guys know out there in the community if I'm buying these comics at these prices or staying the hell away or possibly even selling. But before we get into the video, guys, like always, I'm going to ask you, if you're not a current subscriber of the channel, do me a favor, go ahead, click that subscribe button for me. It will help the channel out, and not to mention, I am giving away this awesome Thanos statue when we hit 4,000 subs. I told you guys from here on out, I'm going to be giving something out of my personal collection away every 1,000 subscribers from here on out. And we're just about almost at 4,000. I think we're about 600 and change away. Guess what, guys? This is the 4,000 sub giveaway. It is this awesome 1/10 scale Thanos diorama from Infinity War. I want to tell you, this thing is freaking awesome. It is nearly perfect for a Thanos statue. So do me a favor, go ahead, click that subscribe button for me, smash that like button, and let's give this sucker away as soon as possible. With that said, if you haven't checked out my website, mightycollects.com, I'm always posting new books for sale. Let's get into this week's breakdown. At number 10 on this week's list is a copy of Flash number 129 and the first team up between the Golden Age and Silver Age Flash. That's right, and it's CGC 7.0. Just sold last week for $320, up 7% since October. To me, you guys know, I said it before, DC keys are going up in value right now. That's where your money should be put, and especially rare books, I think, where money should go right now. Regardless, I'm not a huge Flash fan. I think there are better Flash books that I want to buy over this one, Flash 129. So for me, it's a no-go, but I say it's cheap enough at high grade if you guys are interested. At number 9 on this list is a copy of Showcase number 34 and the first appearance and origin of the Atom, Ray Palmer, and a CGC 4.0. Just sold last week for $366, up 8% over the average. I am interested in this book. I gotta be honest, a lot of the smaller keys right now for DC are probably where I'd be putting a lot of my money. The Atom may show up at some point in a James Gunn movie, possibly not in his own movie, in someone else's movie. That's what I'm really banking on, but it's not going to be for quite some time. Yes, I'm willing to buy this book for the right price. I think under $400 for a 4.0 is not bad. This one's around $300, so yes, it's a book I'm looking to own. However, it is for the long term. At the 8th spot this week is a massive key. It is a copy of Incredible Hulk number 181 and the first full appearance of our favorite Canadian, Wolverine, and a CGC 6.0. Just sold last week for a whopping $5,000, up 2% over the average. Now, this is not a huge gain, 2%. You guys know this is a must-own key. I'm going to say it, but for me right now, I'm not spending any money on this book. I think you got to hold this book for a really long time for it to be well worth your investment. There are a lot of copies out there. I say it all the time. Yes, 100%, it's a must-own book. But wait for prices to come down, and I still think they will trickle down once we get Wolverine and Hugh Jackman, at least in the MCU. At the 7th spot this week is a copy of Daredevil number 8 and the first appearance and origin of the Stilt Man. I'm not really too familiar with this character. Regardless, guys, a CGC 6.0 just sold the prior week for $243, up again 2% over the average. Again, I think all Silver Age Daredevil books should be owned if you are a Daredevil fan. However, I will say this, only a few, in my opinion, are investment-worthy books, so keep that in mind. Yes, it's a cool book. I just don't want to shell out the $300 for a 6.0 very fine copy. I just don't think it's worth it. If you want to pick up a low grade just to have in the collection, that's what I'd be doing. At number 6 on this week's list is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 258. And of course, this is the storyline where we get Reed Richards discovers that Spider-Man's black costume is an alien symbiote, a classic comic book, and a CGC 9.8. Just sold last week for $410, up 27% over the average. Now, while I am an ASM collector, I usually try to collect ASM 1 through 300. I think it's a must-own book, but there's no way in hell I'm spending $410 on a 9.8 copy. This one, I want to own this book. I want to own it probably in a 9.092 just to have it in the collection. There's no need for me to spend 400 and change on a 9.8 copy, at least in my opinion. At number 5 this week is another big key. It is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 194 and the first appearance of Felicia Hardy as the Black Cat, and a CGC 9.8 newsstand copy. Take a seat, guys. Just sold last week for $4,500, up 11% over the average. You guys know I'm a big fan of Felicia Hardy and the Black Cat. I can't wait till we see her in an MCU/Sony film. God, I hope it's an MCU film. Regardless, I want to own this book in any grade, I think over an 8.0. However, it does not have to be a newsstand for me. I'm not spending $4,500 just because it's a newsstand copy. I think that's really frivolous in my opinion. I know there are people out there who love newsstands, who collect them. I think it's great, but there's a better way to put $4,500 in collecting. That's just my opinion, but yes, I want to own the book. At number 4 on this week's list is a copy of Tales to Astonish number 93 in this iconic cover by Marie Severin. But not only that, this is the classic battle between the Silver Surfer and the Hulk, and a CGC 4.0 just sold last week for $229, up 7% over the average. Now, I have talked about this book before. I actually did a Silver Surfer list of books I think I would buy. Again, I may do a Hulk list. You never know. Regardless, I think for $200 for a mid-grade copy, definitely worth owning in my opinion, because it's a classic cover, because it's a classic battle. Not crazy about the cover myself. Regardless, I think it's a must-own for around $200 in this grade. At number 3 on this list is a copy of the Sentry number 1. And of course, this is the first appearance of the Sentry. And there are rumors out there right now that saying he's going to be the main antagonist in the Thunderbolts movie. And a CGC 9.6 just sold last week for $199, up 11% over the average. I actually think the Sentry is a really cool character, and I think he will be important going forward in the MCU. However, I'm not looking to spend $200 on a 9.6 copy of this one. Hey, if you can get a 9.8 for a decent price, it may be worth it. I do think he's going to show up eventually. If it's not for the Thunderbolts movie, it may be something else. I do think he's going to be an important role going forward in the MCU, although it may be a small one. Yes, I want to own the book if you can get it for the right price. For now, though, I am going to stay away. At the 2 spot, what else could it be, guys? For the 7th week in a row, it is a copy of Omega Men number 3 and the first appearance of Lobo, and a CGC 9.8 just sold last week for $405, up 24% over the average. But if you remember last week, there was a sale for $450, so it's down since the last sale, so finally trickling down. However, it is still up over the average. You guys know what I said. Anything over $350, I think it's a little bit sketchy to buy this book. Again, I had a high of $450, starting to trickle down right now. I'd wait if you want to own this book to get back to the $350, $370 range, but then you may not get another bump even if he does show up, so keep that in mind. Only want to own this book in a 9.8. For me, I'm staying away. And at the top spot, a book that's been on the list recently, it is a copy of Hulk number 1, and of course the first cover appearance of the Red Hulk, General Thunderbolt Ross, and a CGC 9.8 just sold the prior week for $405, up 26% over the average. We all know the rumors. General Thunderbolt Ross has been recasted through Harrison Ford, and he may show up in the Thunderbolts movie as the Red Hulk. For me, do I want to own this book? I'm really not that interested. For me, there's only one Hulk. It's Bruce Banner. And again, there's She-Hulk as well. I may get into a little bit. But regardless, I don't want to spend $400, even though it is a 9.8 copy of this one. I think it's a decent buy if you are a Red Hulk fan. Absolutely. But for me, I can't do it. With that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed another week, another list. Again, some new books on the list, some old books as well. Again, stay away from some of the books that are really just spec right now. I think it's a bad investment if you're going to start buying these books, some of them at least, right now before we see them in MCU films. With that said, it is now time for my best buy of the week, and I'm going to give you Amazing Spider-Man number 194. You guys know I'm a Spidey fan. I'm a little biased when it comes to these books, but regardless, I'm not buying a newsstand copy, but I want to own this book for when Felicia Hardy shows up, and hopefully in the MCU. I still think it's fairly priced. Again, it has come down. There's a point in time that this book was really scorching hot where anything over an 8.0 was probably going for $600-700. It's starting to trickle down right now, and I'd probably be putting my money on it if you don't have this book. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles saying thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.